and I am your African history teacher, Professor Higgs. And welcome my YouTube family. I just want to stop and say first and foremost that my channel is growing thanks to your participation and your subscriptions. And I want to tell all how wonderfully happy and how satisfying and gratifying it is to see people interested in knowing about their history, particularly African American folks and people of color, but also our white brothers and sisters. Most important, I'd like to shout out a subscriber who I must say is my first non-family commenter. Again, my first non-family commenter or commentator. I think I'm right by commenter. And that subscriber, his name or his call name would be Black Avengers 2437. Black Avengers 2437. I appreciate your comment. It helps drive my lessons and how to present what people are looking to hear. So I will take more of your comments as we go along. But I also have a special thanks for you. I have spoken with my wonderful wife, my queen, and we thought about doing something since you are my first subscriber, but I will reveal that to you tomorrow. In any case, as I said, I'm so humbled by the subscribers and viewers is growing. Again, I don't do this as a monetary reward. I'm not monetized and will never be. I'm only here to provide this information to our folks and to our people across America, and of course anywhere else. So first and foremost, I will be broadcasting again tomorrow. I'm only here for a brief second, and I will be continuing with my introduction of Dr. David Imhotep's book, and this is what we're working out of, and I'm going to hold it up for a minute because my wife suggested that I didn't hold it up long enough. This is the book we're working out of, and tomorrow before I begin, I will also show the other books that I will be using as reference, but this is the book. Again, I will be continuing the introduction. We'll be going through this book rather, how can I say it, like sort of step by step, but very, very slowly, because this information is really complex. It takes a lot of little research you might have, and also it takes a lot of your mind to be open to many of the things I'm going to suggest to you and many of the things I'm going to reveal. So, if you have watched my latest broadcast, I did something on cognitive dissonance. If you haven't, you need to, because already some of the comments that I did get, particularly from this brother Black Avengers 2437, that comment can be somewhat answered on that latest video. But I'm still going to address it tomorrow so that you can get a more clarity on it, and probably others who might be interested in that answer or that suggestion as well. So let's briefly, quickly go over it. All right. Black Avengers 2437, make sure I got that right, had an interesting question that seems to be pervading all over all the social networks, and that is, was Africans first in America or first in Africa? I kind of think that's what is being said or being at least commented on. In my latest video, you will see the answer to that. But briefly, this has to do with the species of the human person, or the origins, better said, the origins of species, of the human being. We, Africans being the first human beings, the first race and the only race, you have to understand that where that race began. You have to know where that race began. Scholarship over the last 100, probably 150 years has definitely accepted that all humans, as the first Africans, were created, developed, nurtured in Africa. How do we know that, Professor Hicks? We know that because only in Africa do you find the five first species of human beings, their bones, their linguistics, their biology, their DNA, their genetics. There are over 7 to 8 different variables and factors that are evidence evidence of that humanity began in Africa. As a precursor, as a lead up to tomorrow, there's a couple of things you can do. The first thing you can do is look up the Laetoli footsteps. I think that's Laetoli footprints. Please research that. This will help me tomorrow to further my introduction or for you to gain a better understanding. That's number one. Number two, please look up the origins of Africa. The origins of Africans. I apologize. The origins of African. Dr. Leakey and his wife have maintained and documented over, I would say, less than 100 years, over the last 50 years, the origins of Africa. And with that, I will have to tell you there are no species, there are no bones, there are no phenotype, there are nothing in America that suggests that Africans developed in America first. That is not based on science if you have such information, and it surely is not based on evidence. So we can knock that out the way just by a little research if you need to go to ChatGPT, Perplexity, or anywhere. This information is so widely available. When I taught this in college and high school, luckily I did not have to go through that basic fundamental research, but I will do it for my viewers and my subscribers if necessary. There are no history, whether it be the history of anthropology, archaeology, botany, biology. There is no field that will tell you that the human species, meaning Africans, developed in America before Africa. They developed in Africa first, and then they fused out. Now, another thing that can help your research for those interested, like Black Avenger, you can look at some of the beginnings of the Australopithecus line or series of human development. You can also understand and look up a topic called cultural diffusion. And you can also look up a topic called first migrations out of Africa. It's called OOA, the out of Africa migration. Forget the OOA. The out of Africa migrations. This will pretty much satisfy your understanding of where the first species came. If there had been a species like the human species who are Africans in America, that information would have already been satisfied, presented to us in scientific journals and so forth, and you will not find a journal in America or anywhere else in the world that would bring claim to that issue, which it is. Because I understand many, particularly people of color, are really seem to be entrenched in this. You have to do research. Finally, my last word on that, you have to do research. You have to look and dig so that you can see and find for yourself. I don't need to do the research for you. You can do it. But again, I will speak on that tomorrow very briefly. But in the meantime, please look up the origins of human species. Dr. Leakey would be one good source. Even in this book, if you bought it, you can look up the source there. There are thousands of sources on the internet and everywhere will give you a grounding in this. Yes, African is your heritage. And even in America, at your heritage. But you are from your ancestors. Bones, their miracles are in Africa. And this is something that we need to satisfy amongst ourselves. So I think that's it. Let me check my notes. Again, I much appreciate the comments and the subscriptions. Please continue to subscribe. Tomorrow we'll be back on. We're going to give you a list of sites tomorrow. That's what tomorrow's class is going to be. A list of sites that you can go on and find some of the monuments that Africans left, because we left monuments all over the world. All over the world. Entire planet. That's why so many of these monuments are being discovered now, because this is where we left them. Some are underwater, some are above water. But I'll give you the places to go to look for those tomorrow. So basically tomorrow, we'll be finishing with our introduction, and that will conclude with looking at spaces and places where our family traveled and dispersed to. Don't forget, cultural diffusion, migration, Dr. Leakey. These are places you can go. Even the ChatGPT, Perplexity, or any of these other AI sites will verify this information. This is no longer something that we need to argue. This is just like trying to argue that white people were born in Africa. That's not an argument no more, but about 50 years, 100 years ago, it was. Remember, we have been in America for 130,000 years. Lately, the new science is 350 to 1,000,000 years ago, we were in America. But we were not born, developed, or created there. That happened in Africa. So with that said, again, please subscribe, continue to view and like and comment, because the comments give me the impetus to drive these topics home to you. So please continue to do so. And with that, I'm going to say Ashe, and please continue to subscribe and like.